All right, welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Monday, May 2nd, 9:27 a.m. Finally, April is over and the week has started. Traditional markets are open. We can see what's going on. It's bitcoindailyview.com. Always got some more crap for you there. Links to things that I talk about, indicators I use, things I endorse. Definitely check out blockchain education. All right, a little bit of news, real quick. Ukraine is winning the battle on Twitter. It certainly is. But in the real world, Kyiv is losing the fight for Donbass. In fact, it's pretty much already lost. And in response to that, we've got some seriously wild neocon action. And neocons are not really conservatives. And neocon is a term that came around 1950 or so. And it was more of like a totalitarian one world government that kind of came out of kind of you got to kind of Wikipedia that if you want, but neocons are not conservatives. It tends to be kind of a definition people tend to take for granted, but it's not. It's basically kind of a one world totalitarianism that came out around 1950 or like the late 40s as World War II ended. So I mean, around 46, 47, you'll see the neocon ideal that eventually, when Cheney was vice president, was kind of documented in a plan for the new American century or something like that. So anyway, it ain't conservatives. It goes beyond that. It's just an aspect of the deep state that wants totalitarian one world government. So neocons. So because of that, things not going so well in Ukraine, you've got this. The House Republican introduces bill to give Biden sweeping authorities to wage war in Ukraine. It'd be nice if actually the Congress and the Senate needed to actually approve war, but that's kind of gone out of style. So now it's just an executive action like everything else. So this ass clown, this guy here, he is the neocon who is trying to engineer this. It gives Joe Biden the ability to deploy American troops to defend Ukraine if Russia uses chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons, which they have no reason to do because they've already won, really. They're just going city by city, town by town. Well, not city by city, but it's just a cleanup operation at this point. If you're actually really following it, you know that it's already over for the Ukraine. Regardless of how many billions they're given, it's done. Any equipment going to the Ukraine from the collective West is going to get nuked at the border. So forget it. Not happening. It's already done. So this worries me. I'm an old man. I'm 52, still very spry, happy, have a lot to live for, but I'm too old to get drafted again, and I'm too old to be recalled. I was in the military, and now I'm not. But for an entire generation of military-aged kids in this country, and I see them as kids at this point, I don't want to see ass clowns like this neocon engineer crap like that, and then there'll be a false flag, easy enough to happen, and then guess what? Boom. I really would suggest everybody who gives a crap about the future of our young generations and the world to contact your senator and your person in the House, well, senators and person in the House. And it's very easy to email them, etc. And just say, dude, no, this neocon ass clown needs to go. We do not approve of this because if you pass this legislation, we know what will come next. And I personally am offended by youngsters being turned into hamburger and pink spray blasted across battlefields. I'm not cool with that, especially for the current, lying bunch of crap in the administration. A new bill would eliminate Biden's Ministry of Truth. So there is some good things happening. So this lady, very, very courageous. She is definitely straight up taking the deep state and the more fascist aspect of our government right now head on. I applaud this lady. She's really, really a tough lady. She's very, very cool. She's putting her life at risk doing this. I love her. She's a badass. And why are conservative women always so attractive? You ever notice that? I'm just saying they are. It's weird, but they just are. Now here you go. Here's a typical lefty woman. Anyway, I just wanted to mention, what's her name again? Oh gosh, Jankowicz, whatever. Is it just me, or does she look like Quentin Tarantino? I'm just saying. I mean, is that Quentin Tarantino, or is that anyway? This lady, heroic. I'm definitely going to be writing my senators and my people in the House and saying, look, back this. Forget the neocon ass clown. Please don't pass that legislation. And please, this lady, she needs to be We need to do this because the Ministry of Truth is pretty much the end of this country as we know it, especially when run by a cross-dressing Quentin Tarantino. I don't know why he turned into some kind of a bad person, but now he's pretending to be a woman, and there you go. Anyway, blockchain education definitely endorse this. This is some great data this morning. You'll find there in the chat if you were part of things there. Um, M Mouse, a great character he mentioned. SPX is partially filled gap to SPX is partially filled gap to fill. BTC often follows SPX. So there we go. Just something to mention. If you're part of blockchain education, check that out over bitcoindailyview.com or in the description of this video. Something very amazing to be a part of. I definitely suggest it. Not financial advice, just saying I do it. And, you should too. Okay, so looking at crude oil, so basically US oil spot, 103.92 today. Green candle getting back above that 50 moving average. Let's see how that goes this week. Now, dollar strength index. We closed on a red candle on Friday, but today we're bursting out with a nice green candle. So dollar strength index continues up today above all important moving averages. Let's see what happens this week. Now, the S&P 500, not so groovy, closed with a terrible red candle on Friday. We have an indecisive doji right now, but so far it's been red this morning. Let's see if we can get a bounce rolling. It is kind of around previous support and resistance. If we look right there, maybe that will happen. Let's see how this kind of rolls throughout the day. Let's look at the RUT. Green candle. It's kind of begun its bounce. Maybe the S&P will follow. The RUT tends to be a little bit more of a quicker reacting. It's kind of like Bitcoin is SPX. And Russell 2000 is kind of like Ethereum. So I think we're seeing that bounce. I think we're seeing kind of a predictive bounce there for the S&P. Look at the Dow. Woo! Red candle on Friday, red candle today. So, and it's actually breaking below that 20 WMA. So I would just say the market at least has not opened too darn sparky this morning. That's for sure. Not too sparky. Looking at the Tech 100, this is US Tech 100. Let's see today. We have a bit of a green. It's been in a downwards channel for a while. If we look at it, bit of a green candle today. Let's see how that rolls. Gold this morning. Just really, I'm going to be honest with you, pretty dang dismal. Gold dumping hard. Okay. Silver dumping hard with a tail. With the wick down even lower. I mean, boom. These guys are losing kind of previous support and resistance in the chart, sort of. So let's just see how that rolls. But not looking too perky there. So there you go. It is looking good though. Check this out. Ruble versus USD. So if you look at this, you can find it there. Rub USD, RUB USD. I'm gonna put a link to this in the chat. In the live chat here. The trick here is since the day of the invasion, we are now up 8.18%, or at least I would say easy 8% since that time in 76 days. So, everybody wants to say it's like a Putin inflation and the Putin this and the Putin that. No. It's just the collective West children leadership screwing themselves and us over. So how are those sanctions working? I don't know. I would say the chart doesn't lie. They're not working other than friggin' pumping the ruble and screwing the collective West, especially Germany and the US. All right. So that said, write your Congress people, by golly, and tell them what you think. At least have a clear conscience, whatever may come. Volume right now for Bitcoin and Bitcoin explicitly is 3.3 billion. Very, very low, but I'll take it. It's above 3 billion. Good enough for the moment. Looking at cryptometer.io. I like this one. It says 4 billion. I don't like it when there's a big difference between these two. So that's 3.3 billion. This says 4 billion. So definitely a bit of a, I like it when they're closer. It tends to be more accurate for both of them when they're close. So somewhere between 3.5 and 4 billion is our Bitcoin volume last 24 hours, down 4.31% last 24 hours. Let's see how that rolls. So basically, Bitcoin volume just barely okay for a Monday. Looking at CoinMarketCap.com, Binance.com. Looking at the exchanges, as we can see, what gets me here, and what I'm kind of watching, volume today, 14 billion on Binance. See, Coinbase Exchange, 2.1 billion. I'd like to see 3 billion for a good day there. Where is crypto.com exchange? It's at 1.9, basically 2 billion. Like to see 3 billion there. Gate.io at 1.5 and Qcoin at 2 billion. Like to see this a little bit higher. Anyway, volume is not that bad really for a Monday as we ramp up. But what I don't like to see is like Binance here down 3%, Coinbase Exchange down 3%, although FTX up 22%, Kraken up 20%. So we have this sort of range here of some exchanges like Bitfinex up 40%, but yet you've got other exchanges down. So let's see how this rolls. I would actually just kind of say this is something worth watching. I will stick this in the live chat here. I think it's worth watching. I definitely would say if we can get at least the top 50 exchanges, in the green today, let's just see which way this is going. This is a little bit undecisive for me. So let's watch this and see if we get all the big exchanges, at least the top 50 or so, all in the green today. Let's see which way that's actually moving. It's a Monday. It's been volatile, so let's see how it rolls. That's not exactly a sign of confidence. It's sort of an indecisive market to me. Usually you're green or you're in the red. When you're half and half, that's when I think you have volatility that could definitely break either way. And as we all know, which way it usually breaks. Okay, so looking at Binance, okay, futures, basically derivatives, last 24 hours, 50 billion is just hardly being in business. 60 billion is good. 70 billion is really, really good. So, and we're actually 3.78% down. So derivatives are not too rocking today. Okay. Let me check something here. All right. Sorry about that. Just saw some breaking news. Looking at Bitcoin, top 100, last 24 hours, Bitcoin coming in at 38,822. We have a beautiful little mix of green and red today, but mostly red. ApeCoin continues to plummet. Kronos, which is the crow tied to crypto.com, is down 13%. And here's the thing. If you ever wanted to get the crypto.com card, and it's just something you want to do that you think you're ever going to do. Crow has been dumping recently. Not a bad time to pick up a little bit if it is, because you can kind of get it cheap if you'd like to get the card at some point. Just something to think about. And I think over at bitcoindailyview.com, let's see, do I have it there? We will get through this. Yeah, I have a link. It's an affiliate link. Yes, it is, to crypto.com. And I really do very much enjoy this card. It works very, very well. Hope this link is still kind of working. Crypto.com card. Where'd you go? Sorry, a little slow this morning. What's my I'll have to fix this link so that it actually works. Blah. Anyway, that's my referral link if you need to stick it in there. So with that said, I'll fix that link, but crypto.com card, not bad to have. Check it out, and see how much Crow you need. Crow's kind of taken a dump recently. Might be a time to get in if you ever wanted it. I like crypto.com card because of this. You can leave your US, you can put your USDC or T on it, but you can keep like ETH or Bitcoin or many other coins just in it, and you don't have to actually put them to cash to spend until you actually do it. You can do it right there while you're in the supermarket, boom. So, because sometimes I'll head out and I'll be like, I have some crypto that's like making money, and I'm, driving across towns. I'll make, a couple extra bucks before I actually turn it to money, and sell it. Not a bad deal. Just saying, it works. I like it, and it's metal. It looks really badass. It just does. I'm vain. Okay, so with that said, longs versus shorts on Binance for Bitcoin, 68% long, 31% short. And for Ethereum, 65% long, 34% short. I like this here because it's not when it's too optimistic, it tends to be a opportunity for whales to make money and exchanges to make money. Right now, this is just about right for a nice, I personally think, a bit of a long bias that is healthy and proper and good and will be profitable. Not financial advice, of course, just saying that's what I think. All right, looking at Bitcoin here on the daily, we're below all important moving averages. But on a good note, the MACD tangent has flipped positive. So something about that, Let me clear out some old alarms here. Just make sure I don't have any kind of garbage there. Something I'm going to do here is really for real, and everybody do this. Get your daily Bitcoin chart out and go to your MACD and look at that MACD to cross the MACD signal. Seriously, big deal. When this happens, if we get that cross, we're good to go. The daily chart is a big deal for Bitcoin, and it's kind of been recovering a little bit. We have a positive tangent. Let's see if we can cross. That could at least get some positivity in the market. I think we definitely would see Bitcoin kick up a couple percent today if it actually makes that cross. 3-day candle, 3-day MACD beginning to lessen its descent. A little bit of tangent, kind of fighting towards the positive. That's good. 3-day chart still below the 200 moving average. Has a way to go to recover it. 3-day chart, dismal, but better than it has been. Well, maybe not better than it has been. It sucked and it still sucks, but still, daily chart needs to get some momentum. Need to get above this 50 moving average, which is right around, let's just say 42,000. If we can get above that and hold it, great. That's the 50 moving average. I mean, you want to be above that on the daily, or you're kind of not looking so good. But anyway, y'all, I mean, as it has done before, Bitcoin can get sparky. And it can definitely make moves and get above these important moving averages. But as we know, when it dumps below them, well, it's not that great. It's challenged once, hasn't made it. Maybe we'll do it again this week and actually get above. But right now, not looking too beautiful. Let's look at a 2-hour chart. 2-hour chart, it's gotten above the 20 WMA, 50 moving average. It's kind of riding that right there. How's that MACD looking on the 2-hour? It tends to predestine. It tends to prophesize which way the daily is going. And right now it's been moving up, but now it's beginning to trail off. And it is positive, but it's beginning to tangent towards the negative. So, you know what? I'm just going to chilling until we see something like this. Here's Bitcoin on the 45-minute chart for immediate price action. It's been riding that 200 moving average. It cannot get above it. It has wicked above the 314 even, but it just ain't making it happen. Right now, this chart is not looking, it's looking indifferent. Bitcoin needs to get some angst going. It needs to listen to some heavy metal and friggin' get a testosterone patch and just it needs to go to a men's gathering, needs to watch a movie about Vikings or something like that. Except for that crap, the Northman that just came out. Oh my gosh, it's maybe one of the worst movies ever made. Anyway, so as you can see, it's been trying to get above. It just has not. It's trying again. Let's see how it does this week. The indicators are not looking super strong, but Bitcoin can pump 5%, 10% in a day like it ain't nothing. It is very, very close. It's working that 200 moving average. It's trying to get above, but seriously, it needs to do that. So we need to get a 200 and 314 burst within 1 to 3 candles, get a blue diamond merit badge, and bam, maybe we can get back in the action if we can hold it. So it's all about, most likely with a weak kind of Bitcoin like this, we might see some bouncing between the 200 and 314, then a bounce above, come down and find support and move up. So there you go. There's my Elliott wave. It's as accurate as any of that Elliott wave bullshit. So I think that's what's going to happen. Anyway, Ape USDT. One of the reasons why I'm looking at this coin is because really it seriously did some serious moon action here, and now it's come down, broken the 200 moving average, 314. It's below the 618 golden pocket. But you know what? On a good note, something I kind of like, and I mean, I'm going to point this out, by golly. 786 is a proud place. That given 75% back, it is a proud place to bounce. And when you bounce there and you get some upwards movement, you bounce in the right place to continue a run or to kind of get a run rolling again. So looking at the indicators, I'll zoom in a little bit here. Looking at the indicators, directional indexes in the red, squeeze indicators in the reds, SME binary candles aren't looking so good. KRI is not good, but stochastic RSI tangent just turned positive. It tried to move, but it didn't move very far. But it's down there in the bottom of the oversold where it needs to be. Where translated by Lazy Bear is kind of showing about the same thing. It's in the right spot. When these two agree, it's something to think about. So might we see, and also note this, we're looking at crap. Hey, when I do that, there we go. Let me just delete this part here so you can see. At the bottom of the RSI cave, okay, and at 786, we've got a lot of things going for us. Maybe that's the place we can bounce. Let's look at the ATR cave here. Where you at? Yeah, there it is. So we didn't dump so hard that we actually got below the ATR cave. So let's see. Maybe we'll see a 786 bounce. Very, very possible. Something to watch. This thing is like a rocket ship to Pluto when it gets going, and it may continue. Let's keep an eye on it. All right, SHIB versus USDT. Still crap, but basically, I'm watching it because, as I've mentioned before, this is kind of a long-term hodl. A dollar cost this average once in a while. A dollar cost this average, this like kind of weekly. Just a little hedge in, because I do think that, eventually, like I say, when this thing runs again, which it probably will unless it doesn't, you're looking at, if it went to all-time highs that it has been at before, you're looking at 200, 300% easy gains. And anyway, this is one to watch. Not necessarily endorsing it, just letting you know that I do dollar cost average because I think that it is actually possibly a player. Let's look at is anything here looking interesting as far as the top 100? Go back to that. Anybody in the green at all? Who's kind of making it happen here? Any top 100 that are worth looking at? Phantom is, FTM is in the green. Let's look at FTM real quick. Phantom. I look at the markets. This is one thing I should look at more. Just looking at the markets when we're here. Indices. Just look at this page. S&P down. Down. Dow down. DAX down. UK 100 up. I kind of like the indices, and I should actually keep this as part of the daily view. I'm going to put it right over here so we can look at that as part of the big picture every day, because I think this has a lot of value. As you can see, green and red. A lot of the world indices are in the red more so than in the green this morning, and you can take that for what it's worth. It means that the world's not exactly woken up, ready for business today. Yet. Day is young, week is young. Okay, FTM, I like it because you can play it on Binance and KuCoin and Bybit and CoinX, BitMEX, Polynex, Binance US, Grandma's Exchange, Gate.io, and Femex. You can play this thing anywhere. I like that. I like coins you can play anywhere. Looking at this thing here, we're going to look at it on Binance because that's kind of where the insane volume is. Turn off the ATR zone. Let's look at this thing. A little bit upwards momentum today, but do note, well below the 200 moving average. It's in the middle of the RSI cave, though. It does have a nice gradual upswing here that I kind of like seeing. I do like that. That's nice to see. Directional index is in the green, but ADX is going the wrong way. Squeeze indicators beginning to get positive. So are the SMU binary candles. KRI has been in the green. Stochastic RSI and wave channel oscillator by Lazy Bear are showing it is on a nice upwards momentum. Let's just watch this one. Definitely, I would watch this one for getting perky. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. Pulling a little bit more time and data here. How's this one been doing? I like it. FTM, what I like about this, as I mentioned many times, is okay, I dig it. I dig this. You know what? Can we do this actually? Can we get really radical with this one? Yeah, we can. Check it out. I know some people would say that this is invalidated as far as a fib, the way I'm doing it, but I don't believe so. Let's go down here to where we had this massive run start. Let's go here and check it out. You're at the 786 level. You're kind of fighting to get that back on the 4-hour chart. Definitely something to watch. It's at a 87.08 sats. I mean, if you can break that, maybe we'll see this thing start to run again. 200 moving average is up there right below the 618 golden pocket. This is just something to watch. FTM could start running again. If it got back to the highs it's had before, that would be wonderful gains right there. So I like to see that it's actually fighting right now while most of the market's in the red. Ultimately, these indicators on the 4-hour chart are showing that it's pushed pretty hard and maybe it needs to cool off before it continues up. But one to watch. I might actually put a 8708. I put an alert in for this crossing value 887. Let's just say 87. Put that in. I'm going to watch that today. Yeah, 8708. Just going to watch that. And if that crosses that, we might see some serious upwards movement. We have the indicators kind of looking like they're in the right spot for that. Let's once again go to the 45-minute chart. And yeah, we need that 200 moving average break. Go and check that out. This alert here in TradingView for 8708 is right basically breaking that 45-minute 200 moving average. Can you dig that? So that's a very, very logical spot. And you could also get really radical here and say, I want to see this when it crosses the, mine's a little bit obscured here, and but crossing that 200 moving average, I want to see that too. So because they're kind of right in the same spot. So Phantom versus USDT, 1-2 watch. You can play it anywhere. It might be a wonderful coin to get in on and ride this week if it's one of the few or one of the many that are in the green. It definitely could be that first horse out of the stall that leads the way in the alt utopian peaceful revolution. So with that said, everybody, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're part of the peaceful revolution. Every Bitcoin Satoshi you own is an optimistic vote for a beautiful space age future for humanity. And remember, for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, a piece of shit globalist cries. So take care. See you later.